What is a certificate of title and everything you need to know about this document? If you're in the process of buying a property or already own one, you may have heard the term certificate of title and might be wondering what it is and how it differs from the title deed. In this video, I will share everything you need to know about the title certificate. Title certificate explained. A certificate of title is a legal document that is issued by a state or a municipality. It confirms the legal owner or owners of the property. The document serves as proof of an owner's right of ownership and usually refers to property or real estate. However, it may also refer to other significant assets such as businesses, motor vehicles, or boats. The buyer becomes the new owner and the holder of its title once they have made their last payment to the creditor. After that, the buyer receives a title certificate in their name from the municipal of the governing body. Identification information. The individual who is accountable to the estate or property is listed on the title certificate until the individual chooses to sell it to someone else. There are no details regarding the loan or the previous owner on the certificate. A certificate of title contains identification information that allows people to see the details of the property or real estate and the individual who has the title. However, the estate can be encumbered, which means that a third party may have the prospective claims to it. This includes mortgages held on the property. If this applies, such encumbrances are listed on the certificate of the title. With regard to non-real estate certificates, details such as the license plate or vehicle identification number can be found on the vehicle's certificate of title. The address of the property or house is listed on the property certificate of title, as well as the address and the name of the person who owns it. Public records. These public records are vital for all parties concerned to have an adequate assessment of ownership since it offers public and legal notification regarding an individual's interest in given property. Parties can use this public documentation trail to defend their legal rights against claims from third parties, as the seller transfers the title certificate to the buyer once it has been cleared. Property ownership. While certificates of title provide information about any debt that is owned, it is important to remember that the certificate of title does not serve as a guarantee that a person's land or house is free of encumbrances, liens, or easements. This is because most encumbrances and liens are documented in public records, while others are not. Furthermore, some property owners provide insufficient information on the estate's encumbrances. This is why title insurance firms insist on issuing a certificate of title to the legitimate property owner before the individual borrows money with the property as a collateral. When property is sold. When the property is sold, the seller must assure the buyer of a clear title free of all liens. The owner can provide proof of ownership by presenting a certificate of title. Before a property's owner can be transferred, it must be free of debts. The title must be clear, which means that no creditors can claim ownership as a result of granting credit to the seller. Because there may be liens or debts outstanding, unpaid, back taxes, or unsettled building code issues, it can be called a defective title. Title searches and insurance. A title company, which is a company that is there to verify that your title to your real estate is given legitimately to you, the home buyer, must conduct a title search to guarantee that there are no liens, overdue taxes, or other problems with the certificate of title that can prevent the property from being sold, which forms an essential part of the sales process. Property owners may obtain title insurance to cover any claims or defects on the certificate of title. This title insurance protects both the lender and the home buyer of the property against any losses they may face as a result of defects on the certificate of title. The consequences of no title insurance. Without title insurance, all relevant parties are exposed to severe risk in case of the defect in the certificate of title. A buyer who finds the house of their dreams, who discovers unpaid back taxes on the property from the previous owners, can bear the entire financial strain of this outstanding tax charge. They must either repay the back taxes or face the risk of losing their home because of non-payment. However, with the title insurance, the home buyer is covered for such expenses. How a certificate of title works. A certificate of title can be used for any kind of property with a title, including houses or land and motor vehicles. Once the owner's financial and constructional obligations have been met, they can take possession of the property. The certificate of title contains the owner's name as well as details about the estate. When a piece of real estate is purchased, the title is passed on to the new owner. Certificate of title versus title deed. Title deeds and certificates both serve as documentation to prove the ownership of the property. However, there are some fundamental differences between the two. A title deed is a legal document used when a home is transferred from a seller to a buyer, while the certificate of title serves as an impression of the status of the property and does not serve as a guarantee of the legal ownership. The title deed may also include specific details regarding the property. Title certificates have to include specific information to identify the estate as well as the encumbrances. A deed to real estate, on the other hand, may also include ownership constraints as well as more specific information regarding the property. Title deeds also form an essential element in the real estate transaction. The primary function of a deed is to transfer ownership of the real estate to the owner. These title deeds include the building's address or other identifiable elements as well as the official names of the parties involved in the transfer. Deeds traditionally include any commitments made by the seller and the home buyer as part of the sale, including the purchase price and any limits on the estate's usage. Why issue a title certificate? Certificates of title are particularly crucial in property transactions. If a title company issues a title certificate on real estate, the certificate expresses the title business's beliefs that the seller is the right owner of the house or land. Because land, unlike other personal property, cannot be physically lifted and given to another person, determining who it belongs to is more complicated. The fact that a person resides on a property does not imply that he or she owns it. As a result, the title company's certificate of the title verifies that the individual selling has the authority to conduct the sale after conducting a thorough background investigation on the land or house ownership. Non-real estate certificate of title. The usage of certificates of title is not limited to the real estate business. It can be granted for motorcycles, trucks, motor vehicles, aircrafts, and other such assets in addition to lands and residences, and is used when a vehicle owner wishes to sell their vehicle, as it is a way to provide proof that it belongs to him or her. In other words, a certificate of title for a motor vehicle, truck, or trailer reveals who the true owner is. The duty of granting a certificate of title to owners of these assets is frequently delegated to a local or governmental entity. Before a person may take a loan with a car, truck, plane, or another type of vehicle as a collateral, the lender usually requests a certificate of title. Non-real estate certificates of title can generally be obtained from your local DMV office. If you're buying a new home or an asset such as a vehicle, there is a process that you must follow. Receiving a certificate of title as proof that the buyer has the right to sell this asset to you as part of the process. Understanding how a title certificate works is important to protect yourself against potential losses. A title certificate is an important document that reveals who the lawful or legitimate owner of the property or non-real estate asset is. It serves as proof of the ownership before someone may assert ownership of a property. Once a title insurance company has performed comprehensive evaluations, a certificate of title is provided to an individual proving that he or she is the true owner of the property. And that's all for today's video on title certificates. I hope you found this information helpful in understanding the importance of title certificates and how it can protect you. If you have any questions or would like more information, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more amazing content like this. Also, check out these videos.